Hi folks, welcome to the end of week 6 and heading on into week 7 in our course. So I've really appreciated the level of engagement you've brought to this course on engagement with the significant discussion questions and replies that have been going on, the great journaling work that's been done. I really appreciate this and I hope it's all valuable to you. That's the thing of great interest to me, that there are things here that jog your thinking, give you some new perspectives, some new insights from the materials and from one another that's useful to you now and in the future in the workplace. A couple of things that are changing, definitely in your favor in terms of time and obligation to the course. For week 8, I am going to cancel the discussion questions altogether. I'm going to suggest there be some good readings and material for you to engage in and perhaps reflect on, but I'm just going to give full credit for the discussion question points for week 8. So that will be off your plate as you have other things you're finishing up. The video project, short video and a one-page memo will be due on the last day, July 9th. July 9th. So you do have fair amount of time ahead to do that. There'll be no discussion questions on week 8. On week 7, which we're about to head into here, I'm also making some revision, cutback on that, on the materials. The Sean Achor video called Big Potential is kind of builds on his work that he spoke about in The Happiness Advantage and wrote about in The Happiness Advantage. I'm going to make that video optional. It's about 20 minutes long. I think you might find it interesting to see how his work has moved on to give a lot of attention to the great value of social connections in our lives. And it might have quite an impact on social connections in the workplace as well, or highlight the value of those. But that's going to be optional in terms of having to spend time to look at that or discuss it formally. I'm also making the discussion, this reading, digitalization drives the new face of engagement. That'll be optional. This article, which is, I know, one of the heavier weather articles in terms of challenging reading, called Put Down Your Phone and Listen to Me, How Boss Phubbing Undermines the Psychological Conditions Necessary for Employee Engagement. It really brings in that whole idea of attention in the workplace, and specifically, there are 3 studies done about what happens when supervisors have that phone in their hand and maybe take calls and so forth while they're talking to you. And it's kind of a marker for cell phone usage in the workplace in general. I highly commend to you the short video by Simon Sinek on the use of cell phones in the workplace. It's only 3 to 4 minutes long, and he's spoken on this on other occasions online if you want to see what he has to say. But he has some specific suggestions about the use of cell phones in the workplace. It's a topic of interest because it takes engagement in a little bit different direction in terms of how we engage with one another on one-on-one conversations, in meetings, and so forth, particularly around electronics, and even more specifically around the use of cell phones. How we can be engaged all the time with everything, and how that might need to be managed personally on how we engage with others, or partially engage with others. The other article is, again, a little bit heavier reading. The article about phubbing, see, I'm suggesting only reading parts of the article. The whole thing is, of course, fair game, because I know it's a scientific piece with some, it's pretty dense, but I think the first couple of sections and the last couple of sections will give you some really useful insights and information. So I've cut back on that. And then this piece is about wearables in the workplace, and it takes us into some suggestions for how workplace performance and maybe engagement can be affected by data collection during a work day and so forth. And it brings us into the territory of engagement, electronics, and ethics. So I recommend this. I know this is going to be a little bit heavier reading as well, because it's from kind of a mid-range journal. I guess I'd call it a somewhat simplified academic journal called Organizational, no, this one is called Business Horizons. But I think it's going to be readable, even though it is a little bit dense, and brings some intriguing questions about use of electronics related to performance and activity in the workplace. So again, the project is due on July 9th. I've cut back on some pages and made an article and a video optional for this coming week, week 7. And for week 8, I'm going to keep all the materials available, and I might do a short presentation highlighting some of the key points in the readings, but there'll be no discussion questions required. I'm going to give full points for that, probably even just yet this morning for the 8th week, so that frees up your schedule a bit. I want the class to be challenging, but not crazy, so I'm trying to, in terms of workload, so that's why I'm cutting back on that. If you have any questions, as always, you can use that general discussion thread in the course so everyone can see your question and my answer, or just send me emails or text me if you need to regarding anything going on in the course. I hope you continue to do well and get some good, useful information out of the class. God bless you, and we'll be in touch.